Fort TV. Stay entertained.
You're most welcome to this show program. The program is Free Talk. Tubatangirire muno ba viewers baitu nyo na Fort TV. Those that are watching, those that are following us via Facebook, YouTube, mwebale muno. Amabaram Studios ndi atugonza NAUME omugenyi wanyu wa Kirokinu, the host ombungisa wanyu wa Kirokinu. In studios with me I have visitors bajakuba ni batoyanjura hoiroho muratuganyira mukatoito bakusobora kufudamu obuzibu butito tito mukozesa olulimi lwaitu runo runyoro rutoro. So saba tubeikirizeho tukolesa Olungereza habakuba niro bakumanya muno. You're most welcome, our visitors.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Morning to you.
Thank you.
Kababeho ni batoyanjura, you can introduce yourselves. You're most welcome.
Yeah.
Mike, you can tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for hosting us this morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you, viewers, friends, and our people from Toro and Bunyoro sub-regions. We are glad to be here. This is not my first time here. I've been hosted here, and we appreciate for TV for what they are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Akamprira Michael. I work with an organization called the Okra Network. I'm glad to be here. Maybe before we talk more about the Okra Network, I request my colleague also to introduce himself.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amot. My name is Ivan Saatamba, and I'm the founder of the Okra Network, and I work alongside Michael. And I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, and thank you for having me. This is my first time with Fort TV. It's my first time in Uganda, actually, so I'm very excited. And everything's been great. It's been a very hospitable moment, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. You allow me to talk about the Okra Network?
Yes, what exactly is the Okra Network? What is it doing? And when you talk of okra, what should come to our minds?
Yes, thank you. I think okra is a common plant which we all eat. It's our vegetable here. And so, but that's what we really based on to come up with a name, Okra. And the Okra Network is a registered organization, but it was registered in the United States of America, where Ivan resides. But this is a network whose role is to identify and also solve challenges which are on the African continent. And that's why the name was localized to be a common plant which is almost consumed in every African country. But again, if you know the okra plant, or the okra fruit, or the okra vegetable, inside it has seeds. And so these seeds we see, they represent people.
Okay.
And so representing people, it means that there are many seeds. When you plant, they multiply. When they multiply, we get more fruits and more vegetables. So now, in a nutshell, we believe that we are people. We are Africans. If we really work together with that unity, we can multiply, we can change our communities, we can make our people better. So we shouldn't really get confused of the name Okra, but we really wanted to make sure that we localize our organization.
The network is named after that plant, and the nature of the seeds are united, and
exactly.
So you'd love some unity in among the African countries.
Exactly. So we are here to make sure that we identify the challenges and also bring solutions to these challenges which face our African communities.
So as African communities, how do you expect that network to be formed?
We do not actually work alone. Okra exists because there are people like me, you, Ivan, and other people who are every day who work hard to make sure that they change the communities where they live. And these people have established some enterprises, some organizations down there, and they are doing great work every day to make sure that they change their communities.
In
And
all
those are the
aspects?
people. Yes. It may be health, it may be education, it may be sports, it may be agriculture, all aspects of life.
Okay.
As long as you're waking up with all efforts to make sure that you change your
To make a
communities.
difference, okay.
Yes.
So what do you intend to, how do you intend to help them make that difference that they intend to make in their communities?
Yeah, my colleague would maybe answer that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So what we do is we try to identify each organization, and when we identify them, we figure out what sector that they're in. And then if they're in a particular sector, let's say health, for example. So we try to figure out how are they tapping into their area, what are they utilizing, what are some assistance they need, and if there's another organization that we identify that they can support them in, we try to get them together and try to find a way that they can bridge that relationship so that way they can solve a problem. Because a common mistake or common thing that we notice is that there are so many of the same organizations in different, or in the same area, right? So let's look at Kampala for an example. You look at Kampala and there's dozens of health-oriented organizations, and if you ask them if they know each other, usually you get the answer no. If you ask them if they have solved the problem, the answer is going to be no. So for us, we believe that if we really want to solve these problems in these communities, we have to use all the heads. We've got to use all of our resources and find a way to work together to solve that.
So first they need to get to know each other and make things together.
Yeah, so we identify the organizations, we communicate with them.
Two heads are better than one.
Exactly, exactly. So when we speak with organizations, we try to understand them, we try to build that trust, that commonality, and create a relationship with them. Because if they don't trust us, it's going to be difficult for them to want to trust the other team. So we try to bridge the two together through us, and then we connect them. We let each of them know that there's a solution that can be made if they work together. And then we begin to work. And through that, we provide these organizations visibility to be seen. Another issue we find is that there are a lot of African-led organizations that nobody knows about. Even in the same community, people are unfamiliar with what they do. So maybe you might see an organization every once in a while, but you don't know what they do.
Okay.
Right? So maybe, let's say you are a passerby and you have an issue with your school. If you don't know that there's an organization that can solve that problem, you either have to do it yourself or you don't do it. Right? And we find that the latter, where people don't do it, we find that to be the most pressing issue.
Yeah.
So if they can contact one of the organizations that's in their area, wonderful. And if that organization can help, great. If they can't help, they can contact another organization. So we want to make sure we provide the visibility, the networking opportunity for each organization, and then we even have a third component which allows us to work on projects with these organizations as well. Right? So some of these.
So like you'd love the health organizations to get to know each other and achieve a common goal together with the rest, like music, news and all that, entertainment organizations,
if possible.
agriculture,
Yeah, so
to form one big network as Okra.
Yes. So let's say you have two organizations, they work in health, right? In the pressing issue, let's say there are maternal issues, right, or reproductive health issues. This organization might have a solution, and this organization can learn from them, and they can work together. And then where we come in additionally is if they need to find, let's say, menstrual pads, menstrual cups, if they need resources, if they need some sort of fundraising, we will try our best to be able to provide that also, right? And we never tell organizations that we will give you money, because we don't just give money, right? We need to see you accomplishing these goals with each other. We need to see you taking steps, and through that, we work together to find a way to solve that problem, because again, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads, right? It's much better than one individual doing it. And if I have, let's say each of us has a network. So because of our relationship, you can tap into my network.
Yeah.
Right? So you may be health, but let's say that you need something related to community development. Let's say you need something related to education. Well, because of our network, you can tap into that. And even if someone is not in our network, because you have met Michael, you can still go to Michael and say, hey, Michael, do you know these people? And Michael will say, yeah, I do. Right? And how can I use, and then you will ask him, how can I have access to them? And you say, oh, easy, I'll call them for you. Right? So we really want to emphasize that with that unity, we're going to accomplish so much more than what we've already been doing.
So how would you love these organizations to get known to each other? What is the plan?
Yeah. The plan is we've already started within our network.
With the mobilization?
Yeah. We have, I think right now in Uganda, we have close to 10 organizations.
Roughly, yeah.
10. So those
Yes.
10 organizations have registered with you people, or?
Yes. The way we recruit these members, when we really approach you and you really understand our vision, we tell you really what we want to do, how we would want your organization to be presented. We have different social media platforms. For example, on our website, we allow you to upload your profile on our website, so that actually the whole world can know that you do exist, and that's one way of increasing the visibility of these organizations. So when you upload your profile, of course we have your contacts, especially we have the contacts of the founder or the team lead of the organization. And so right now we are still in the infant stages, the first stages of making sure that we gather these members. But
That your target is to get all the organizations in the African countries to get known.
Right now we have members in around 8 countries. Because
Roughly, yeah.
in East Africa we have members in Kenya, we have members in Tanzania, we have members in South Sudan right now, and Uganda. So in East Africa we still miss, I think we have also members in Congo.
We have members in Congo,
Yeah.
and then we have one in Rwanda.
Yeah.
So is this membership open to all organizations, whether small, community level?
It is open to all organizations as long as they fit within the vision of the network. Yeah. As long as they are really focusing on changing the lives of people, they are all open to join the network.
Speaking of organization, what would someone consider exactly an organization? Are these the non-government organizations you hear of, or non-for-profit, or even the local organizations at community level?
Actually, our interest would be organizations at community level, because now
Down in our communities.
Yes. We are not interested in, let's say, big organizations. You cannot recruit, you said, you cannot recruit those big organizations. Our interest would be organizations whom we can really come in to fill the gaps or the challenges they have. I've given an example of visibility. An organization which is operating, and maybe we have many organizations which don't even have websites, they don't even have that social media presence, but they are doing great work. Those are the organizations we are looking for. Organizations which are already empowered. Well, if they wish to join us, maybe if they feel there is something we can add on them, it's okay. But our interest would be on those organizations whose visibility is limited.
So we can have some farming organizations that people have made at community level. What are some of the examples you would love to come and join?
Okay.
To make that network?
We have identified some examples. I've given an example of an organization here called the Change Society Needs. This is a local organization. It's not an organization that may be working in the entire country or an international organization, but they are doing great work in changing the lives of people here in the Rwenzori sub-region. So now,
speaking of changing society, that organization, what is some of the work that they're doing? Because I believe there are some viewers out there that are not even aware that it's here in the Rwenzori region. They're getting to know about it for the very first time.
I may not be the representative to talk about the organization, but
you being the Okra
one
network
of
member.
the work they are doing, I will talk about the recent program which is being undertaken here. This organization has partnered with another organization from Kampala called Integrity Youth Forum Uganda, and they have brought here a menstrual hygiene program with support from the Okra network.
Okay.
So something I also wanted viewers to know is the Okra network does not implement. However, we run our projects through our members, the network members. So one of the recent programs the Change Society Needs has worked on here, they are focusing more on improving the menstrual health and hygiene through schools. And I will give some schools which you know. You know, the recent one actually it was last week, I think, Lotete SS. Lotete SS is it's a school here where around 208 students were trained in menstrual health and hygiene, and also
so
how
you
to
conducted
manage.
a training on menstrual hygiene,
Yes.
a talk,
And
then
a talk, and also we availed materials. Young people were trained on how to make reusable sanitary pads. Surprisingly, even boys were part of the training. So they really know how to make pads, and we believe that through that school, of course working with the health club which was established, the issue of menstrual health and hygiene will be worked on.
It's a great work. More so when you look at even the gents taking part, you know, it's not something that can be left to only females just because they're the only ones, but they can find a way of helping the sisters, the wives and all that.
Yeah, it's not only that school, by the way. At the beginning of March, we also had another training at St. Lawrence SS, but also Toro High. These are your schools, you know them. So some of these trainings have really been packed full, and we have registered successes. Students are telling us how they are even taking these trainings to even their communities. Because if I am trained when I'm at school, if I have my sister or my mother at home, when I reach home during my holidays, I'm also able to train these people, and that's how our project is penetrating to communities.
And it is changing the society, because we shall have no more people struggling with menstrual periods. You know, some people miss school because they're in their menstrual periods, they lack confidence and all that. So the society, there will be some change.
Yes, so that's one of the projects we've worked on with the Change Society Needs. Next time we'll also invite the founder to talk more about what they do. But this is specifically the program where we are partnering with the organization. So
as Okra, how exactly do you implement this? The other projects?
Yes.
You don't implement.
As I've told you, it's a network.
How do you?
Being a network, we get resources.
Yes.
Of course, we also fundraise from partners and friends who really believe in our vision.
So some of the roles is to fundraise for resources.
Yes.
From other organizations who are capable, or?
We do fundraising from individuals. There are friends and partners in Europe who really believe in the vision we have.
Okay.
So we reach out to them, whichever resources they give us. We come and identify potential organizations who can really implement some of these projects we are talking about.
Okay.
And that's how we advance resources to these organizations to work together and implement such programs. And
it is open to every member, especially those in communities?
Yes, as long as, depending on the program, if you're in agriculture and you fundraise resources in line with agriculture, we identify organizations in that line.
Okay.
If you're in health and like this menstrual hygiene, we will support you based on the thematic areas you're dealing in and based on the cause for fundraising.
I get.
Yeah.
And I want to add something too. So a lot of organizations, when they reach out to larger NGOs, they reach out to donors, they're left with empty email, nothing back, right? And so those who are part of our network, they would be able to contact us or contact each other, and they can even just give advice, because another big component of networking is consultation, right? So when we meet with the Change Society Needs and IFU, our goal is to ask them, what are your needs? What's going on? What are some projects that you have? Because if they tell us that they have a project and that they've had trouble executing it, they've had trouble raising funds or raising resources, we try to solve that problem. So we have to work together. So it's not just an organization comes to us and says, hey, we have this great agriculture project and we need to implement it. We go, okay, great, let's talk. Let's figure out how we can do it, and let's figure out who else around you can help make that problem go away quicker. And so when we met with Change Society Needs and IFU, the goal was to solve the problem of young girls skipping school. And you can't